Alright, hello everybody. I don't really know what this is gonna be, but I feel like I need to do something and explore my own thoughts and just put it out there because life has been a massive mindfuck recently and I don't really know how to deal with it except to just explore these thoughts and these feelings and the reality that I face on a daily basis, one step at a time. Um, I I guess I need to preface this by pointing out the severity of my addiction problem, even though, I mean, maybe for some it may not seem like as big of a deal as it seems like for me. I know that saying that you're addicted to weed might be laugh worthy. It might, I mean, there's just, there's addictions that are so much worse. I understand this, but I can only, I can only talk about what I'm experiencing and I can only experience what I'm experiencing. I don't know what other go through. But my point being, hi, I'm Daniel. I'm 24, almost 25 years old. That's crazy to say. And I've smoked weed daily since I was 14. Like, and not just daily, but I've been high pretty much 24/7 since I was 14. Through high school, all of my classes, through college, all of those classes, through work, going to work high. Just, there is quite literally nothing I've done without being high. There is, yeah, that's yeah. I don't know how else to put it than just that straightforward. I I struggle with this fact because I mean, addiction runs in my family, substance abuse runs in my family. My dad died early because probably in contribution all the drugs that he did when he was younger, and just I don't want to end up like that, you know? It's not the life I want to live. But the complicated part in me saying that is that I have spent so much of my life just not liking myself and my own brain and using substances, whether it be nicotine, alcohol, or weed, using those substances to change me purposely, intentionally, like put myself into a different mental space, different mental pattern that perhaps I would like, one that is different than just who I am. And it's a weird way to think because I don't necessarily know if I felt this way when I was younger, other than just maybe feeling a little different. But once I realized that I could just change how I feel with a substance, just smoke a bowl or something, and boom, you're gonna be high, and it's gonna be a different experience. Life is, yeah, that took control very quickly. Um, I didn't really realize how bad this has all been for me until probably about a year ago. Um, I mean, I've been taking major steps to try and improve my life, try and improve my health, trying to just set myself up for the future. I am almost 2 years without nicotine. I am no longer in therapy. I'm not gonna say I don't have issues still, but I've worked through a lot and I've dealt with a lot, and I feel okay most of the time. But with more mental clarity came the realization that weed has been controlling my life for not just my entire adult life, but pretty much my entire cognizant, capable of using my own brain life, like, uh, and I've been very much in denial about that and how much it actually impacts me and how it changes my behavior, how it changes my desires, how it changes me as a person. This, I mean, it seems obvious to say that smoking weed all day, every day will not it's not good for you. It's gonna change you. It's gonna make you act in a way that maybe sober you may not act. But I came to see High Daniel as the only Daniel. There hasn't been any sober Daniel. Like, that's not a thing. Like when you smoke weed all day, every day, not even a single day break for 10 years straight, it's just that's your baseline. You don't, it doesn't feel, it feels weirder to be not high than it feels to be high. That's my point. And it's just really disconcerting how much I've let myself almost just lie to myself and tell my own brain that this is fine, you know? Like, I can just smoke weed all day, every day for the rest of my life, and it's not gonna fuck me up. It's not gonna fuck my future up. Nah, that wouldn't happen. But, um, yeah, I really don't know what actually hit me to make this change, but I remember I came home, this was November of last year. I came home one day from like a weekend with some friends out in Portland. I go to Portland every once in a while, spend a few days there in the weekend. I'll come back. Oftentimes when I go there, I'm drinking, smoking. I'm self-indulging because it's like a little vacation or whatever, even though vacations shouldn't happen twice a month. Um, and something hit me when I did that. I decided, okay, let me just try not to smoke weed for a day. Let's see what happens. And it very, very quickly became apparent that this is not a joke. Like, within 12 hours of having no marijuana, my body starts to just fucking melt. Um, and I'll get more in details. I'll provide more details about those symptoms in a moment, but my point being that it kind of struck me that if my body reacts to not having weed in such a dramatic way, maybe it's not good for me. You know? Maybe it's a crazy thought process, but yeah, maybe it's not good for me. And I want to be healthy. I want to be happy. I want to I want to be successful. I want to have a future, you know? I don't want to just let myself waste away, be lazy, be content with just being a fucking loser stoner, dude. I mean, I rationalized a lot of it by claiming I was functional and it didn't affect me or whatever. Like, I mean, I got a college degree. I graduated high school, no problem. I did all that while high. And that's probably a reason I can't remember half the stuff I studied in college. But point being, when I made that decision to try and go a day, it fucked my head up a little bit. Um, it really made me realize how addicted I am. It made me realize how dependent I am upon it. And I think, so what happened was I managed to make a week without weed that first time I tried. And then I let myself smoke again. And then I went another week without weed, and I let myself smoke again. And then I went another week without weed. And then I let myself smoke again. So I was already just developing another different pattern, and it was always almost like I was waiting desperately for those 6 days to pass so I could smoke again. And when I did smoke again, it was just kind of making me feel shittier. I mean, I guess I don't typically get anxiety from weed, but it suddenly kind of kicked in, mainly because I was realizing that maybe what I'm doing is not the right thing to do. But the unfortunate part of this for me is that as soon as I let myself indulge a little bit, I find a way to rationalize indulging all the way. And I don't remember exactly what specific stressor was in play at that time. I think it was something as small as like my computer stopped working that gave me an excuse like, oh, I'll smoke a little more. And within 2 or 3 days, I was back smoking all day, every day. Like, the progress was, there was no progress. I mean, it was big for me that I made it a week without weed, but I hadn't been long enough to really get rid of the withdrawal symptoms or get through the hard part. Rather, I kind of just, yeah, I thought that was enough. And maybe it was for then, but I don't know, but it wasn't. It took me until about February, like into February. I went on another trip. Of course, it always starts with a trip. And I was like, I've had enough. I realized that I've just I let myself self-indulge too much. And this was when I really, really put my full focus and effort into making a change. And you're gonna quickly find out that that wasn't successful. Otherwise, I wouldn't be making this video. But the first time, like once I stopped on that end of February, I managed to make it a whole month without weed. Okay, and I did tell myself before starting it that I would let myself smoke weed after I hit a month as a celebratory event. I didn't necessarily want to quit weed. I just wanted to, yeah, I wanted to quit weed, but I also wanted to be able to let myself have weed on special occasions. But yeah, that doesn't work out. I don't know if you can relate to that in any way. I don't, but it just doesn't work like that for me. As soon before I start describing the symptoms, let me just play out the timeline. I didn't smoke weed for a month. It was great. It was awesome. I felt very proud of myself. I smoked, and then I didn't smoke weed for another month after smoking, and then I was like, okay, after another month, I'll smoke again, and then it took about 2 weeks before I let myself smoke weed again. And then I went on another vacation. I came back. And then I let myself smoke weed again. And it was only like 9 days since my last time. And then I started applying for jobs. I was feeling pretty good. I was motivated. As soon as I got an interview, I was like, ooh, good job, Daniel. Let's reward yourself with smoking weed. And then as soon as I went through my first shift, I was like, ooh, good job, Daniel. Let's reward yourself with smoking some weed. And that reward thing very quickly was like, ooh, I went to work. Let me reward myself for going to work. Ooh, let me just smoke weed because I want to. It's a reward because it makes me feel good. And just all the progress rapidly deteriorated as soon as I got a job. I did not go a single day without weed ever since I got that job. And it's not a hard job. It's not a stressful job. It's easy. But it was that simple for me to just change my mind on it. And that was in June. And here we are in November, start of November. And I've been smoking weed again daily for 5 months. Pretty much totally reset the progress. Yes, not pretty much. I did totally reset the progress. I became dependent upon it again. And I'm going to have to go through this again. As of making this video, I am about to, or probably just reached 48 hours without weed. And with my next video, I kind of want to go into what that's been like. I want to go into how hard that's been. I want somebody has to relate. If me expressing my story can help anybody realize that it's just not worth it to control your life with substances, then let's fucking do this together. Thank you for watching. I'm probably just gonna make another video right after this, but I appreciate you. I love you. I don't know you, but I love you. I want you to have a good life. I just want everybody to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to have a good life. I think it's possible. We can do it. And let's make the effort to try. Thank you. Bye-bye.